Hey everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host Dave.
I'm John, and we're just a little bit slow because we're still recovering from the New York Comic Con, and
Yes,
and con crud probably, and me from getting a tooth drawn. It's a whole thing. It's been a week, let me tell you.
we don't know where GD is.
He'll
Hopefully
show
he's
up.
joining. He said that he had practice tonight and he would try to join from school, like he's done before. Um, Hopefully he'll be here soon.
If he doesn't join, it was probably because he's like it's a Monday. It's a weird day for us to do it.
It
So
is. It's a very weird day.
I'm
So,
I'm I'm multitasking because I'm putting up photo galleries from the con. So
so besides all of that, how are you, John? What is new with you since the convention?
you'd like me to get to the root of my story?
Yeah, if you want to talk
he's
about that.
he's laughing because I figured the best time to get a tooth extraction was the day after I came back from New York Comic Con, dragging 15 pounds of equipment over 25 miles. Um, and yeah, that was not a good idea, especially
No,
since it
no.
turned into a fiasco and I was literally sitting in the dentist chair for 2.5 hours while they brought everything out except a jackhammer to try and get my tooth out that was fused to my jawbone. Really fun. We should have like a section just for old man speak because I'm sure people love hearing these stories.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
definitely.
really brings out the existential dread before we hit them with the comic book stuff. Um, so yeah, that was fun. Um, but I've got the memories of the New York Comic Con, which was fun because we were able to get on the floor early every morning
We
um, because
weren't
that was
supposed
fun.
to.
What?
We weren't supposed to.
Uh, I don't know. I think they let me in, so I it was I walked in. I had equipment on me. They looked at me and they said, "This man belongs." They let me through. Hmm.
Yeah, you
I'll
weren't
have a sip of that.
totally honest every day, were you?
No, I was completely honest. Okay, mostly honest. But we that means that we got pictures of them setting up the con, which is always
Oh,
fun
well,
to
yeah,
get
that was
because it's
that.
really neat to see them put this stuff together.
That I was shocked on Wednesday when we went, and we went right in, and no one stopped us. Like, no one questioned us.
Well,
We walked in.
again, yeah, it comes down to social engineering. It's a hacker trick. You look like you belong, and you go in there, and we don't do it. Um, we don't do it for any nefarious reason. We do it because we want to give you guys all the information we can, all of the photos and the stories that we can get you. And so this is what we do. We get in, we dodge security, we run from press agents, um, you know, talk our way past them in some cases. And and we get you the stories. So, and we got you interviews, lots of interviews.
Yeah, there's a reason though we're not really supposed to go in on Wednesday. There was so much construction going on. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy on Wednesday. Like them setting it up, and it's a little
yeah, we
dangerous.
we got well. I mean, no, nobody there was wearing a hard hat. I mean, come on, there's everybody's setting up their booths and everything. Like nobody there is safe. Let's put it that way.
No, no, not at
But
all.
but we did get to see stuff like putting together huge statues, raising Luffy Gear 5 to the ceiling, a huge inflatable Luffy Gear 5, which was awesome, and just I mean, you got to think with the size of the convention and the sheer number of tables and display units and all this other stuff. And they put it together within, I'd say, about 12 hours. And then, after 12 hours of putting it together, the con ends at 5 o'clock on Sunday
Yeah.
and everybody is gone by like 8 or 9, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like think of the sheer amount of manual labor it takes to put something, and you can see from the pictures. Like I'm putting, we posted a lot of pictures, but I'm now putting up official albums on our Facebook site for day to day, and just look at the way it looks when it's before and after, when they're putting it together and when it's put together, and just figure out how long it would take like any one of you to actually do that yourself. It's amazing how quickly they put these things together and take them apart. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
a coordinated ballet of effort from
yeah.
Teamsters.
So anyway, that's how I'm doing. I'm actually glad I went this year. It was really really cool, especially with the people we got to talk to, and we missed a couple of. There are a couple of interviews that we missed that I'm kind of sad about. The Dungeons and Dragons LARP thing. There, we were supposed to go back to them. We never had time.
No,
We were exhausted by Sunday,
no, and we were double booked on a lot of things, and yeah, I mean, it's funny.
and
I
they moved a lot of the schedule around too on you.
Yeah, and I thought this was going to be because the actors weren't allowed to promote anything. I thought this was going to be like a con of like we weren't going to have much to do because there weren't going to be many press rooms, but no, it ended up being just as busy as any other convention we go to, any
Yeah,
other New York Comic Con we go to, and that's good to a point. But you're right, we were both tired by Sunday, and just decided to go home. Sorry, there wasn't anything outstanding that we missed. There was one thing we didn't go to. That was a press room for Percy Jackson, but I don't know if anyone in our audience is interested in Percy Jackson. Let us know.
I mean, after two failed Percy Jackson things, and now they're going to do it again. So I'm not not
Was the movies failed? I thought the first one did well.
the movies. The first one did okay, and then they were kind. I forget the timing. I think they were at the tail end of the YA thing,
Yeah,
the Maze Runner slash was it Hunger Games slash all the other ones that came out around that time,
yeah, I think so.
and they tried to rush it through the next two, and the story made no sense at all, none whatsoever. Not many of those YA movies franchises really did make a whole lot of sense. Maze Runner is another one that made like 0 sense when you got halfway through the second movie. You're like, well, what the hell's going? Even things in the first one. Yeah, the only one that actually was worth anything was Hunger Games, and it was some of it didn't make sense, but it was a compelling story. It had great actors and all that stuff. But that one, Percy Jackson, it kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it had the right. It didn't find its audience.
And
Um.
I've read the entire series of the books,
Okay.
and they're okay for a young adult series. They were good, but the execution of the movie was not where it needed to be for it to actually, you know, work,
Right. Right.
for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So. Um.
So how you
But
doing,
yeah.
Dave?
Uh, I got home and immediately the next morning started feeling sick. And of course, anyone who's been to a convention, especially one as big as New York, you're like, it's con crud, and you usually feel better within a couple days. But no, this is a definitely. I think it was a chest cold that lingered on for a while. This is the first day that like I can talk without like catching my throat, and the only the only lingering thing I have is you get to a certain age, and if you cough too hard, you can strain your ab muscles. So on my right side, my ab muscles are sore whenever I cough. So, you know, that's the
I,
fun
I
thing of getting old.
if I had Concrete, I think it got scared away by the pain from the tooth extraction. It's kind of like, well, we can't do any more damage here that's already been done. See ya, you know.
Um, and then for anyone who's been paying attention, the episode there was technical issues putting the episode up last week. We had it all set to stream at 8:30 as the normal time, And when I woke up the next morning, it said it was still streaming, and it was only an hour and
Wow.
a half long. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And when I went and watched it, it was like choppy, like it would play and then stop and play and then stop.
Oh, what
And
happened?
it's the frame rate was too high for StreamYard to handle the file and stream it.
And it didn't tell you? That's not cool.
No, I looked up like why is this choppy, and then in their help section it said, "Oh, make sure your frame rate is below." I don't remember what the setting was, so I changed it and then reposted, and now it's fine and it's up. Which of anyone who's watched it, you saw that we had interviews with Sarah Meyer, the creative team behind The Last Ronin, and Max Brooks. So it's a great
Hmm.
episode. Like if you haven't watched it yet, go after this. Go watch that.
Yeah. And we've got lots more coming too.
Oh yeah, and then Friday I posted our interview with Rich Dewick from the con floor, and then this Friday I'm definitely going to post the Dirk Manning interview because his Kickstarter goes live on Halloween, so it'll be good timing for it that way because he talks all about the Kickstarter in the interview. So yeah, and we have much more coming. V Friends and Super Seven and uh,
Can't remember, can you?
Kaylin Smith
Oh, that's right,
and
Kaylin too.
and I feel like there's and the your your favorite interview the the comic scrolling website
Oh yeah, Webtoons, the Webtoons adjacent one. Um, oh my God.
Pentacomics.
Pentacomics. That's it.
Yes, yeah,
Yes,
they're a new company from Korea. They have a webtoon style app. Obviously they're Korean based. They're
and they're
currently
translating to a
they're
whole bunch of different
they're,
languages.
they're currently translating to English and Spanish. And they were at the con to look for new independent artists to have on their platform. So yeah,
And their whole thing, like I don't know if anybody here knows Webtoons, like anybody that watches this, um, Webtoons will span the entire spectrum of comics, from you know innocent stories to anime to anime manga to well you know the more adult stuff. So Pentacomics is just going to do all family friendly stuff, and that's their claim to fame. That and the fact that they're even helping Webtoons with translations for some of the stuff into different languages. So hey, Kasan. So yeah, that interview's going up. We interviewed the CEO of the company, the owner.
yes. Hello, Valve. What's that say? Valve's BTW.
So yeah,
Oh, sorry.
um, yeah,
Oh, and
we're the
Black Box
Walking Wounded
Comics. What's up?
apparently here. It's quite fun.
Yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you came and I got to share it with you. Your first time back since 2019. Um, though
Yeah,
I
well, I mean, not we went to the we went. I went one day to the Philly.
yeah,
Damn, what are they calling it now? I keep calling it Wizard World, but that's the
Fan
comic
Expo.
fan expo, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the Philly Fan Expo one day, but this was it's kind of funny. You're there, you've got 17 pounds of audio equipment on your back is hurting, your brain is telling you, dude, you're a little bit too old for this, and but you get to the end of it, you're like, damn, I am glad I was there, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, and then
So
the other thing I did this week, Saturday, was my sister and her boyfriend, who she's been living with for, oh God, I want to say 10 years now. Um, their birthday is the same day. So we celebrated that on Saturday. And then my granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter, Claire, her birthday's the 20th. So Sunday we went to the zoo to celebrate that. And they're 3 and the twins are 5.
yeah,
And my daughter's a good mother, and I know I raised her right and I love her dearly, but we get there, and I'm like, you don't have a stroller or anything. And she's like, oh, they'll be fine. They've been walking more and more. And of course, anyone who goes to the zoo, oh, they're doing the Boo at the Zoo, so it's a trick or treat. They do it every weekend in October. So of course, it was wall to wall kids at the zoo, and so parking, we had to park pretty far.
Okay, get to the end of the story. How many did you lose?
We
like
didn't
just
lose,
just
but
get to the
trying to get
part where you
just
know.
trying to walk back to the car with them at the end of the day was like,
Did you
yeah, they were
pull a
done.
Billy Batson? Is that what you did? Like,
I should have. Um,
oh,
nah, but it was fun, you know. Though they go all the time, so like I'm used to like I don't go all the time, so when I do go, I like to like walk the whole zoo to see everything I can. And they're just like they want to go to specific things that they care about because they go all the time, you know. They had to go see the otters. They love the otters. So
everybody loves the otters.
everybody, I don't know. The rivers don't love the otters because they keep damming them. But
Ha 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 ha. Ba-dum-bum.
so, yeah, and then of course the other thing I did, we haven't talked about this in a while, and JD's not here, so we don't have to worry about if he watched it or not. I got caught up on Loki. Are you kidding me?
Yay! What? Oh no,
Are
I'm
you?
caught up.
Oh,
I'm caught up. Hmm.
so
No,
we
when
get
while I was recovering from my tooth, I figured, well, take advantage of it. So got the heating pad out, got my nice blanket, and sat down on the couch downstairs in the playroom, and you know, caught up on everything, all the new fall anime and Loki. I
so
almost forgot it existed, but Loki's still the best of all of the
I think so.
Disney Plus stuff, with the exception of WandaVision, I think.
It's going to be 6 episodes. So this is the halfway point. This is episode 3, and I don't know. Two things I think I thought about with this episode. Um, are we getting or like Victor Timely? Are we getting the origin of Kang, He Who Remains? Are they same? Are they different variants? Are they the same person? Like,
No, that's got to be a different variant. It's not a time loop. We're not seeing the beginning of the length of time that ends with him being he who's left behind.
He Who
It's
Remains.
he who remains. Sorry, he who's left behind. Whatever. Um, that's the Christian version. Uh, no, it's yeah. I think they discussed it, and this is another variant from it's not even from the sacred timeline. It's from a
Well,
separate timeline.
if you noticed, one of the things they're doing this season is whenever they travel to another time, it tells you if it's a sacred timeline or a variant timeline or
Yeah,
a
yeah,
branch.
which
So
is interesting.
yeah. So when they go back in time and give him the book, it's the sacred timeline. When they go to the World's Fair, when he's an adult, it does say it's a branch. So yeah, I mean it's a little confusing. Um, so I thought that was interesting. Like, are we getting the origin or where is this going to go? And then of course we find out Miss Minutes is creepy.
Yeah, no, I'm getting serious final boss vibes from her. She's
Yeah, yeah. I think she's going to end up being the main protagonist by the time we get to the end. Like
she
you're
is
gonna.
definitely bad. Definitely bad.
And
And
what's
and um to be off my normal personality, she is incredibly horny too, apparently. Um
she wants a body so she can be with Victor Timely or Kang or whatever you want to
yeah,
call him.
I don't know, like, I know this is Marvel and all that, but if you think about a human psyche and the toll that eons would have on on your psyche, that living that long would have on you.
Yeah.
Like, Doctor Who actually played this up with an immortal character, who was played by shoot, what's her name? Arya Stark, I think. Um, what the actress's name? I forget. But the thing was that she got to a point where she was so old she couldn't remember everything that had happened to her. She was keeping a journal. She said she'd go back once in a while and read her journals to see what she had done.
Yeah,
You know,
that makes sense.
um, and you know, Miss Minutes. Well, she's an AI, but like after eons like that, and you know, I don't know. There's a lot of AI theory about what happens with an AI if it doesn't experience the same things as a human being because it doesn't have the same input, sensory input, that sort of thing. So like she's nuts. Like she's the out of all being a computer, IT guy, systems architect type
Uh
person. After everything I've read about AI and the possibilities
huh.
and how neural networks form and all that, she's the scariest thing I've ever seen on TV because
So
she would there's no moral center. There's no recognizable human moral construct that she adheres to, which means that there's no way you could know what she'd do.
there's a theory that she's her consciousness is based off of Renslayer, because in the comics Renslayer and Kang are kind of like a couple, but they're doomed to never be together. Like she dies or something happens. Like in every life that Kang lives, every time period, he's tried to like be with her, but something always happens that keeps them apart. So they're a tragic couple. So the theory is that he created, because Miss Minutes doesn't exist in the comics, is that he created her because he couldn't be with um, Renslayer.
Maybe she's based on Renslayer's engrams.
Right,
You know,
right.
maybe at some point, Renslayer dies and he grabs her consciousness before she dies and creates Miss Minutes. I don't know. That's an interesting theory. I think they're two separate people myself, but I'm willing to be surprised. We haven't seen the end of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to start telling us something about her origins, or at least hinting heavily at it over the next couple of episodes.
Well, and
We
apparently
got.
she knows some kind of secret from about Renslayer that would make her mad.
It's probably that um, every time that Kang partners up with Renslayer in every timeline, he always winds up killing her because he doesn't do partnerships.
Probably. That could very well be it. So
But
we'll see.
we'll see. Well, we got 5 more episodes, right? That was only 3 so far that we did.
Right.
So,
How do you think this is going to end? Do you have any theories? Like, is it going to be?
oh God, no, I have no clue, and that is the most brilliant thing about it, right? We have no idea where this is going, and how many Marvel
It's a
movies
it's a weird moral um
dilemma. The whole thing
dilemma
is a
that
moral
they
dilemma.
created in the
Yeah,
show, because they're saying he's pruning the timelines to make sure that there's only one Kang, so that they don't team up and take over the universe, or cause this multiverse war that but at the same time the argument is, what, because they're all variants at the TVA, it's like, but you're killing billions of people every time you kill a timeline. So it's like, who do you root for, really, when you think about it? Like,
and they're off when you consider how populated the Marvel universe is,
oh yeah, yeah, I
and
know,
and they
it's
take out
trillions.
they're taking out octillions of people, septillions,
Well,
like
they
just
had an
uncountable numbers of sentient beings are being destroyed.
just for Earth, I saw someone did the calculation how many timelines they said were pruned, and they figured it out, and it was
Yeah,
like 73 trillion people or something ridiculous like that, just from
yeah,
Earth. That's
yep,
not all the other planets in the Marvel universe that has life on it. Yeah, so
yep.
yeah, it's a weird moral thing that they created here, and it's like, you're not supposed to root for Kang because he's the bad guy, but what happens if this war happens? So
And when you think about it too, excuse me, when you think about it too, like we don't see any aliens in the TVA. So like the
No,
TVA
they're
is
all from
Earth
Earth.
centric.
Yeah.
So I guess the whole, I mean, that goes back to why Kang created it is because he created to protect his original sacred timeline, and that has to do with Earth. So no matter what happens on other planets, they must just be pruning anything that happens from other planets.
Yeah. Yeah, because
It's
they've been to other planets on this in this show, so
right.
that's all part of it too. um, I'm also kind of curious what OB's role is going to be in all of this.
I don't know.
Because
Being as somebody who watched the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer all the way through the entire series
uh
while it aired, um, I'm not betting against him being the final bad boss.
yeah, well, because
'Cause-
he's Ouroboros, so the concept that like time is a loop, right? Like that's what his name is. There's a lot of theories that when we saw Loki in the future in the first episode, we were actually seeing the end of the TVA. So this loop that we're in, we're seeing the end of the loop there, and the beginning of the loop when he was being chased in the past. So like that, the whole season's going to be is going to be a loop, right? Like the theory is that he prunes himself to get himself from time to stop himself
yeah,
from time slipping.
when he saw Sylvie
Sylvie,
come out of the was it the I guess it was the an elevator or something in the
something like that.
TVA,
Yeah,
but it was himself behind him that pruned himself so they could complete the
right.
loop. Yeah, that's what I heard. So yeah, I mean, again, this besides like WandaVision, eh, I think this is probably the best thing they've put out since Endgame, really.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know, by far, because you'd have no idea where it's going, and it's so it's just damn entertaining. I can't wait for the next episode. I didn't say that about She-Hulk
No,
or about any. I mean, I liked Kamala Khan. I liked
I
Miss
enjoyed.
Marvel, but they had some hiccups because of the CGI
Yeah,
scandals and all of that. So,
yeah. I think
some of it didn't work out.
the only show that I could say I didn't really enjoy to the point where I would never watch it again is Secret War, Secret Invasion.
Oh God, no.
Yeah,
I no. I would never. That was just horrible.
yeah. So, all right, real quick, Kassan has a question for you. Have you watched Castlevania?
No, no, I haven't watched. And you're talking about Nocturne. I've seen the first season and a half of Castlevania. I keep getting sidetracked, specifically these days by being on episode 633 of One Piece, and the fact that this anime season is, I mean, like as anemic as the last season was, this season's more than making up for it. There's at least like 10 anime that I'm watching right now. So I haven't gotten back to Castlevania. But I've seen arguments that Nocturne shouldn't be considered Castlevania or something like. There's some kind of argument going on the internet that Nocturne is not really like part of the first two seasons or
Huh.
something like that. I don't know. I'll figure out when I get there, I guess.
All right.
But yeah, I'd like. I mean, it would be nice to see like post what you think about it, Kazan. You know, let us know what you think about it. You know, give a recommendation
Yeah.
or not to the audience.
So speaking of the audience, uh, little social media man is here. The question that I posted. So
Wait. I'm saying we don't have to do it because JD's not here. That's a good excuse, right?
no, it doesn't work that way.
Damn it! Come on.
Well, this was an important one, and I wanted JD to be here for this, and it's kind of pissing me off he's not. Um, there's a rumor. I don't think it's confirmed, but I saw it on comicbook.com and a couple other fairly reputable sites
Oh no, a rumor.
that Kevin Feige has said that the Secret Wars movie will end up being a soft reboot for the MCU.
Oh no, who would have thought that coming? I'm hearing about this from other outfits too.
Yeah.
Like this seems to be something that's either leaking or something that a lot of people are just talking about. I mean, it seems like there's too much chatter about it to not have some kernel of truth that this is what they are thinking about, um, like a full soft reboot of the universe, which that's what they normally do in the comics when they write themselves into corners and getting themselves
Well,
into trouble. And
that's normally
well,
what
the MCU is kind of in
that's
trouble right
normally
now.
what DC does when they
True,
write themselves into a corner.
I guess.
Um,
Marvel's never
so
done that. They've never written themselves into a corner and decide, like I know that every once in a while they'll do a secret war,
they
destroy
retcon
everything, and
stuff. One of the best examples is um the stuff with the Green Goblin and what's her face Gwen Stacy, where he secretly had a
I
kid
know it's
with
hard for you to
her.
say that name, but go ahead.
No, that he secretly had a kid with her in the past and all this stuff. Like they've retconned that since. Like, oh, that didn't happen. Um, but they've never done a reboot of the universe. The thing that comes closest is One More Day, which was the devil took away Peter and MJ's marriage, and it was magic, so you're not allowed to ask questions. Uh,
Yeah.
and that is normally how they do reboot. The only universe that was like it was not even rebooted. It was merged is what you call it, the Ultimates. So that was my question though. Like when they say soft reboot, like do they mean rebooting by recasting and starting over, or do they mean okay, now we're gonna have Fantastic Four and X-Men come out, and we're gonna concentrate on them?
See, I don't know.
So
I've heard several outfits mention like recasting some of the old favorites. Like
yeah,
because I mean, how seriously they've kind of written themselves into a corner because how in the minds of all the people that the MCU have influenced, like and before they started doing these, you know, comic book movies were kind of like, we got one or two, but nothing really big. Now it's like mainstream, right? So, but they've locked themselves in because now if you do a Marvel movie, it's like, well, how do you do a reboot or even a soft reboot without Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Thor, Captain America? Like they're gonna have to do something about it. They
right.
may be able to skirt it by doing what you said, and we're gonna concentrate on the X-Men and the Eternals. No, not the Eternals. No, no, not them. The Inhumans. No, 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 we're not doing the Inhumans. Yeah, like what do you got? You got X-Men and the Avengers. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
pick one of them.
and the
Like
Fantastic
you're gonna have
Four.
to, but you can't do one without. Like you have to. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna have to, like soft reboot it, hard kind of way, and recast some people
Um.
possibly.
So, no, I had no details, but yeah, JD will not be joining us. Um,
Oh bollocks!
he, I don't know what he wants me to say, so I'm not going to say anything. But he's at the emergency room. Let's just, oof.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have details. He just said that he's at the ER. Um,
It's been that kind of week. I hope he's okay.
um. So back to the question. Let's start over on Instagram. Um, Sour Grape said they could never recast Stark or Cap. The MCU spent 11 years building the and based building. Oh, they spent 11 years building and based on the Avengers. Now is a good time to build the next super team, whether it's the Fantastic Four, X Men. Hey, even the awesome team of superheroes speak. Oh my god! Thanks for that, Tim and Sour Grapes in finer newspapers across the country.
Nice, Tim. Nice.
um, Over on X, formerly known as Twitter, we had Random Randy Savage say, I have to say it, but it should be Mephisto. A handshake deal with Doctor Strange to save the multiverse. Oh man, no. That's one more
Doctor Strange
day.
would do that though. That is not out of character.
Yes. Or and then Space Tactician said, use FF to start new universe that includes the mutants and make Blade rated R.
Damn
I'm
straight.
yeah, I'm not
There's
against it being rated R.
there's no way they can do Blade without doing him rated R. You know, they have to just for violence, not for anything else really. Just for the violence. Not when they went through all of this trouble of adding the ability to have a rated R section in Disney Plus and parental controls and all that. So they have to do it now.
Yeah. And then hold on a second. Sorry, JD's messaging me. And then finally, and I don't know why it's not coming up on when I bring the website up on my computer, on TikTok, Randy again chimed in, said, both. It's a total recast focusing on X-Men, but with all the history of the previous MCU, like they've been there the whole time.
That's a meme too. I've been here the whole time.
And then 8-Bit Ray says DC logic, which, yeah, I mean, that is what this is, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, so that's it. See, all the social media madness. I kept it short and sweet.
Oh, thank golly,
We
Kai.
didn't get a lot of responses on this one, but that's all right. Also, I had an issue when I posted the video. Usually I use the green screen and then I'll put an image behind me of what I'm talking about. But for some reason, when I did the screen this time, it wouldn't. It wasn't showing me. Like apparently, I wasn't lit well enough or something. So it's just a picture from the Secret Wars comic.
So go to our Patreon so that we can afford a green screen for Dave.
Okay, real quick, Hassan answered you. He said, I like it. It's set in the future of the main Castlevania story.
That sounds interesting. Okay.
And then he said, I heard that too. They need to recast the younger actors, save money. They need to recast with younger actors and save money.
I mean, I understand the save money thing, but that's only going to last so long, really, right? Because
Right. Well,
yeah,
that's one of the arguments with RDJ is that um, he priced himself out of playing Iron Man. It's too expensive because it's a couple million or $7 million or something like that every time he plays Iron Man, or 70 million, some ridiculous number like that. So
yeah, that's true. And I understand the reason. I don't understand the reason for that. I'm sorry. I can understand somebody getting paid a couple of million for a movie, maybe for a blockbuster 10 million, but 70 million? I mean, you're like, how does anybody hire you for a movie after that? It's exactly as I said. He priced himself out making like that movie or basically anything else except another Doctor Dolittle thing on the side. You know?
yeah, but I also understand when you see the movies are making $1 billion, you're kind of like, well, I want a piece of that. So
Yeah, yeah, but these Marvel movies are ensembles.
yeah,
So, you get like two or three like that. There's half your movie. There's half the price of the making of the movie right there. I don't know. It's
well, if you're watching this and you want to know how you could be a part of social media madness for next week, here's our good friend Don to tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Do you want to be part of social media madness? Well, go ahead and head on over to superheroespeak.com. You'll find all the links you need, episodes of the show, comic reviews by Chris, and other articles. We're posting stuff on there all the time. And while you're there, you can also check out the rest of the Geek World All Stars podcast network. Include great shows like the Pop Prison Power podcast, Colt 45, baby, So Wizard podcast, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Hashtag GW All Stars, and you're not going to be disappointed. So, make sure that you are commenting on our Twitter articles. Could be a poignant comment, could be a stupid one. Either way, gives you a chance for Dave to possibly mispronounce your Twitter handle. All right, well, I've rambled on enough. Let's head back to Dave and the gents on Superhero Speak.
Thanks for that, John. All right, I just got word. So it's Andy got hurt and he was playing with a knife and cut himself. He's okay. They had to take him to the ER to make sure. So
don't let him play with knives. You got to give him a good pair of scissors.
He
said they fall in the scissors closed.
He said apparently he's not the Boy Scout he thought he was.
Oh my gosh.
So, hey, it's a life lesson, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway,
all right.
On
that note, moving on, we'll take a quick break. And we'll be right back with some news.
Some podcasts are like this.
There was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow.
Yeah.
What would be your weapon of choice?
I'm screwed.
Have you ever seen World War Z?
I have.
You know what I mean? Like Dawn of the Dead type shit.
Yeah. I rely on my fans at that point.
That's a good answer.
I'm going to be like, I need my fans to protect me
book.
so that I can like breed with you when there's not many humans.
Okay, well then I have to ask a follow combat weapon. It can be anything.
My tits are my combat weapon. You go out and fight for me, the tits will be waiting for you.
That's like multiple weapons because there's 2 million guys surrounding
this is what I offer.
Could you imagine an army of millions?
Yeah, we would have the biggest army of all time outside the house. Scott, what about you then?
Back in, I'm on my knees ready to
And some podcasts are like this.
Currently house sitting for my parents whilst they're away on holiday for a week. On the first night, after a few glasses of wine, I got under the bed to plug my phone charger into the wall. There I found a very pretty shoebox.
Oh no, don't look in the shoebox under the bed.
Oh, I don't even know if I can read this.
Why would you bloody look? Why?
Imagine my shock as I opened it to find my mother's very large and realistic battery-powered boyfriend. Hindsight is great, and I know now that I should have left it there, but my curiosity would unfortunately get the better of me. Being alone and horny, and also quite impressed by the XL veiny monster I had in my hands.
No. Oh no! No. She did not use her mum's dildo. Tell me, Rob. Tell me. Well, please.
People are disgusting.
She did not.
I gave it a wash, turned it on, and slipped it in. So not to go into too much detail, all I'll say is the beast was amazing. It hit all the right spots. Upon closer in... Oh no! It gets worse!
How does it get worse? She's using her mum's dildo, for Christ's sake.
No!
What? What?
The only markings were a faint name on the base embossed in the plastic. It read... Clone a Willy.
Oh no.
Turns out I've been getting the best orgasms of my life from a replica of my father's penis.
But only one podcast is where you can get in-depth analysis like this.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Because he basically alley-oops his fucking horse while he's still on it.
Yeah. The horse and the rider lifted by one dude, one arm, blam into the ground.
But he's just a man. Are you fucking kidding? Everyone saw it. It was not embellished. It didn't digitally do shit. That happened.
I mean, for us, it was digital, but everyone else, it's real.
Yeah,
so
it was fucked. But that was the most awesome shit I ever seen. Because I've never seen that done before. Ever.
Okay. Typical weight of a horse is between 840 and 2,000 pounds. Just the horse. This guy shoulder pressed 2,000 pounds.
With one hand, dude.
Made
it look easy. It wasn't like he went, rah! Like he just went, he didn't make a noise.
Straight, just like, imminent.
You are now listening to Cult 45.
This is Beat 'em Down.
And I'm Random Randy Savage.
Find us on all your podcatching apps like Podbean or Spotify. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or just go to www.cult45podcast.com.
Also, check out our YouTube for that sweet video content.
Cult 45, the only podcast that puts hair on your chest.
you say cut it down, but the problem is that's when you can go to the bathroom. It's a nice long break. Just like the old days, live television and,
Yeah.
you can't pause. Back then, us old people, we remember those days. All right. So, a little bit of news. Not much to talk about this week. A couple things that came out of New York Comic Con that we did not talk about in the last episode.
My notes. Oh yeah, here we go.
The first one I thought was amusing. So, Ian McGregor was there at New York Comic Con. He was the keynote speaker. He had he gave a panel, and he was not allowed to talk about Star Wars or any movies that he's been in. He wasn't allowed to promote anything.
Yeah.
So he talked about how you make the perfect cup of tea. He gave a panel on making tea. I thought that was brilliant. And I'm kind of sad that we missed it because, we need to learn how to make a perfect cup of tea, don't we?
I already do.
Oh, do you?
Because I drink tea.
So, here's my question, though. I have in all seriousness. I can understand not promoting new projects, but what does it matter if he talks about a movie he was in 20-some years ago?
Well, it's all part of the. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird because they're allowed to promote stuff that that they had already. So that is kind of weird. Actually,
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, don't know. Don't have any clue.
No?
Nope.
No. It's a shame because JD would have something clever to say about this, but
Probably. I mean, it is weird because according to the official rules, they are allowed to promote something that they just finished. And you know what it is? It's probably they're allowed to promote something they just finished because that's about to go into its time of making money, and they want to make as much money as possible. And but older stuff is just like, well, it's already been released, so
yeah. And I know some actors don't make. Oh, sorry. No, some actors don't make residuals, off of older stuff too. So
residuals is the whole problem, like that.
And they're just. Well, I'm just saying, and all they're doing is making money for the company they're striking against. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Still, it stinks. So, all right. What else? What else? Oh, there was something that came out that we missed. It was a panel, and I don't know if it was a panel or it just came out at the same time as New York Comic Con. We got our first look at the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender that's coming to New York Comic Con. They released some photos and talked about the production a little bit. So, John, you are the anime guy. You're the Avatar: The Last Airbender guy. What do you think of these production stills?
Well, I caught sight of them before you showed them, and I mean, at first I thought it was promotional material from M. Night Shyamalan's version. The stills, M. Night Shyamalan's version looked good.
Yeah.
In the stills.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shocked they haven't dropped the trailer yet. Like, I hate when they do that. When they drop stills, but they don't have a trailer yet. Like
we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest problems with M. Night Shyamalan's was it wasn't even close. I mean, it was like it was like explaining the plot, or no, not even explaining the plot. It's like a blind man explaining the plot to a deaf man. Like, and then
I think that's
and then having them type it out. It was like M. Night Shyamalan's version sucked. Like, you're expecting bending to be this incredible thing with highly choreographed, amazing fight scenes, and it was like 10 airbenders spit a pebble at somebody after 15 minutes of bending. It was, ugh. So, and I know that the creators of this were involved in the beginning, and then of course that age old, there were creative differences, and they left. So that's a problem.
Right. You said say that before.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, M. Night
No, we don't have to
Shyamalan.
be fair. We don't have to be fair at all.
M. Night Shyamalan was taking a TV show that was how many seasons long?
3 seasons.
3 seasons, and like compressing. Well, like you think he's making a trilogy, so he's compressing a season to an hour and a half movie, an hour and
No, it
45.
was supposed. Well, it was technically 1 season, but even that was too ambitious. Like, there's no. If they understood the material, they'd know in no uncertain terms there was no way they were going to get 1 movie out of, like compress an entire season into 1 movie. It just was not going to work.
Yeah, I think the problem is he took the pieces that he liked and tried to fit it into the movie without really thinking, how does this work? How does this fit into the whole thing,
Well, no, because he's not Shyamalan. He's obviously flawless.
No, he came out with like a good movie in the
1 or 2 good movies, or 2
early
or 3 good movies,
2000s.
and then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, like he tried too hard to be the twist guy.
Yeah.
Instead of just making good movies. Yeah.
To the point where it's now a meme. What a twist.
So, all right. Yeah, I guess we'll hold judgment until the trailer drops. It doesn't look bad, the pictures, but you're right. Like, the pictures looked good from his version as well.
I'm worried, but we'll see. I'm gonna watch it.
So, you like the live action adaptation of One Piece?
One Piece. Well, yes, but Oda, the creator of One Piece, was involved with it the whole way. It was done right. Down to they reshot stuff if the creator, was iffy about it, and he had full control over who got hired as the part to do the parts. And you can see, this should be like written into a textbook for people doing adaptations, not just anime adaptations, but every adaptation going into like a series or a movie. Like, the creator was involved through the whole thing.
Yeah.
He had final say in everything. And it is considered now the best anime adaptation by far, the only successful anime adaptation by far. And everybody loves it. Even people that don't know the source material, that have never read the manga, never watched the anime, they love the live action series. So it, and every time, every adaptation you've heard before that failed, which is basically almost all of them, it's the same story. They bought the rights. They didn't care about the material. They were just trying to ride the gravy train. If the creators were involved, they were almost immediately kicked off or left. It's amazing that they just don't seem to learn the right lesson from anything. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, the creators left because of creative differences. I don't know that bodes well, because there is something really special about this Airbender story, and it takes heart to write it and to film it properly. And I don't know that they can do that without the creators there watching over their shoulder, because Netflix has a habit of crapping on things. Ergo,
this is true.
Or et al. Say, Full Metal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, etc., etc.
Yeah, I was about to say Cowboy Bebop was one of the most anticipated ones, and everyone liked the trailers and everything and said it looked
good. And they got the casting mostly right, but then they started fooling around with the characters.
Yeah.
They took
what I've
away
heard.
what made it Cowboy Bebop, and it just became another space anime adaptation. You know?
Yeah.
There was a lot of tragedy involved with those characters, a lot of backstory that made them who they were, and they took that away. It just, yeah. So anyway, that's my take. I'll wait to see what it does. Maybe they do reshoots after One Piece got popular, and maybe somebody on there realized, hey, maybe if I don't snort all this white stuff on the table in front of me, I can do as well as the One Piece guys.
Maybe.
So we'll see.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Maybe. It could be.
We had a trailer come out. Lego Marvel Code Red. It actually is going to be on streaming this Friday. It's an Avengers Lego cartoon, kind of like the Star Wars holiday special that they did. Looks cute. It's the collector, which had me thinking they're pushing Secret Wars ideas out into like different platforms now, because the collector was part of the Secret Wars. Yeah. So this will be interesting. Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah. It's another Lego one. The Lego ones tend to do really well. They're usually fun. Really fun.
And Randy says he likes Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, the anime or the live action. I mean, there were things to like about the live action. Like I said, they got some good actors and all that. But in the end, the motivations got screwed up at the end. So, but yeah, anyway, back to
I thought it was interesting that they're going to have both Sam and Steve as Captain America in it.
The Lego ones don't count in any continuity whatsoever. And,
well, no, I get that.
And they're
I
just
get
there
that.
for fun.
I just kind of wonder if they're doing that to prepare like younger viewers to accept, someone new when they go watch the next Captain America movie, and it's going to be Sam. If you hadn't watched the show, but if you're on Disney Plus, you probably watched that show anyway. So I don't know.
Right, and I'm just going to miss Batman singing about his dead parents. So
There'll be another DC one soon, I'm sure.
Because they're just so much fun. They just are,
Yep. And they call in Wolverine. So, the Avengers need Wolverine's help. So, it's big time.
Yeah, well, if they call in Deadpool, though, it immediately becomes a rated R Lego, which they won't do. So,
yeah, that'll be this Friday on Disney Plus. I think you should check it out. We're going to check it out. We'll probably talk about it on the show on Sunday next week. So
more than likely.
Yeah, because I don't think anything else is coming out between now and then. Okay, why do I sound weird all of a sudden?
No, you don't. Well, you've always sounded weird, so
Okay, no, it was just my headphones went weird for a minute.
Maybe they got you cold.
Never finished a live action. Oh, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, yeah, and that's the problem. Most people didn't. I mean, yeah, but that's Cowboy Bebop. It is kind of a bummer at the end, but
yeah,
which is why I
have
a
lot of
anime.
The
anime, but that was a while ago.
I bet isn't a lot of anime like a bummer at the end?
No, well, most not these days, unless you're doing Overlord or whatever. So, there are a few that are what do you call it? They're more serious.
Kassan.
Oh, Gen V. No, I'm not even going to bother.
You haven't been a fan of this show long enough. We gave up on the boys because it was too brutal and dark for us. We were already brutal and dark to each other.
I believe the term is hyper violent.
So for us to go and watch a spinoff, I don't see that happening.
It offended our delicate sensibilities. I do declare, I'm feeling the vapors.
The vapors.
I just, I know seriously, like, I'm looking for stuff that's upbeat to keep myself upbeat. That is not upbeat. That is a train wreck. That is a one-way ticket to therapy, man. Unless you've got a good life, which I'm not enjoying right now. So
well.
So, but I mean, you enjoy it, go enjoy it. I don't know if it's good or not. I can't tell you. I actually no wait. I did read something that said that it was better than somebody was saying it was like better than The Boys. I can't speak to that, but it's interesting that's being bandied about out there. But otherwise, like you should tell us how good you think it is, how it compares to The Boys.
Yeah. There you go. Let us know, Kasan, what you think. All right. Well, wait. You sent something. What did you send?
Me? Oh, yeah. There's something on Spotify. The Riddler: Secrets in the Dark.
Oh, okay.
It's a series. I think it's going to be a series of like serials. Like audio,
right.
just audio only.
There's a Wolverine one they did not too long ago.
Yeah, I found this completely by accident because I think they did a story on it at NPR, and so I checked it out. And the first episode sounded really good. So, this might be something that you guys want to listen to.
Are the Invincibles banned too?
The Invincibles?
I don't know what he's talking about. Oh wait, you mean Invincible?
Oh, Invincible? Oh God. I mean, it's in cartoon form. It is still a bummer, and I have a hard time watching that. I take breaks from it because again, even though it's animation, it is hyper violent to the extreme, as anybody who's seen the end of the first episode knows, and I know the general gist of how the story goes, the whole story in that comic line. But they put the main character through hell, and I don't know. It's a mixed bag for me, I don't like seeing people get tortured.
I did go to a press room at New York Comic Con for Adam Eve, video game that's coming out based on the character, obviously from Invincible, and it looks interesting. I don't know. It's an RPG, but it's done as a one of those they call it like a storybook style where you're kind of just watching images until you get into a fight, and then you got to make RPGs fight decisions that's turn based, blah blah. But it's like,
interesting.
I played. There was a
though? Really
Telltale games. There's a Batman one. I tried that, and it was like it got boring really fast because it's not like a real video game.
Sounds like the old Dragon Slayer video game that was based on CDs. Do you remember that one? It was all cinematic cutscenes, and you just waited
that
for
kind of
a piece
idea.
You waited for something to flash on the screen to know which direction to hit the joystick.
Yep.
And if you got the timing right, you got to the next scene. If you didn't get the timing right, they cut to a cutscene of your character dying horribly. So, but it was big at that point because it was like it looked like it was an animated scene that you were just controlling, even though what it was really was just a whole bunch of scenes that you would stitch together by getting the timing right with where you were trying to move the character.
I guess the other thing is I didn't watch enough of Invincible. I don't know who Adam Eve is. I didn't read the book.
She's the most powerful being in that universe, basically.
Oh, okay. So
she just doesn't know it yet. She's like Peter Parker just after he discovered that he had the powers of a spider, but not realizing what having spider sense meant, really, and what it could possibly do with a little bit of training.
Yeah.
Only more so. She literally can rewrite the fabric of space time. She's like Matt. Who's a Marvel guy who can rewrite time? Molecule Man. She's literally Molecule Man.
Yeah. Or
Mixes Pitlick. She's
or Wanda. She can change reality. So
I think yeah. She's at a level of Wanda. Yeah.
I just put in the comments for those who are watching a link to the Spotify, the Riddler.
Secrets in the Dark, Riddler.
Yes, that's
it's
it.
It's audio only, and it is amazing.
So I will check that out. Something to listen to on my walks.
We should put that in the description of when we put this up.
All right.
If it's possible.
I will do my best. All right. Well, we also learned something really cool, and it really sucks that JD is not here for this one. And that is...
Oh, yeah. This is something we really want to talk to him about.
Brad Metzler, Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch, Gary Frank, Francis Manipole, Peter Tomasi, all are launching a new imprint called Ghost Machine, a new publisher for comics. They already have a few books out.
I have the books. I have those books that they have out. I have not read them yet. I should have read them for this. I will read them and maybe we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, well, we also have a contact at the company. We're going to try to get some people from that company on the show to talk about it.
You hear that, everybody? Free comics for everybody.
I am not guaranteeing we're going to get Jeff Johns or Brad Metzler or any of those guys. It might be just a rep, but we're talking to them. We'll see what happens. They said they're all happy to talk about this endeavor of theirs. And yeah, it's like Image 2.0 in a way. Instead of the artists, this time it's the writers getting together saying, "Hey, we're going to do our own thing." So,
but they all own their own IP, which is is big. Yes. That's I guess that's the primary point of this is that they're not going to be like Marvel or DC where they basically Borg every character and you get nothing in your old age. Like they are definitely allowing the authors and artists to keep their IP, which is really cool.
Yes. It was also interesting because obviously it was something like that would take a long time to coordinate. They kept it quiet and announced it at New York Comic Con. Like, I don't know how they kept this quiet for so long.
But it's you have a Wikipedia link, so I guess they when did that go up?
Yeah, the Wikipedia came out the same, like everything came out from New York Comic Con. Like no one
it literally posted the same day as New York Comic Con.
Yep.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I wish them well, obviously.
Yeah, October 19th is when the Wikipedia went up. That they're on the ball. They are really promoting this.
Yeah, but this is all coordinated. This is better kept secrets than some of the Marvel movies. Like,
what do you mean some? Like almost all of them these days. This is we're just walking by the booth going, oh, that's interesting. What, Jeff Johns? What the hell?
Yeah, so it's cool. What were the names? Do you remember the names of the books?
What do I got? Red Coat. There's Red Coat, yeah. Junkyard Joe, First Ghost, Geiger, and Ghost Machine. And then there's a couple of others too, like Rook, I think.
Yeah.
So, and like I guess they're going to be doing some crossovers.
Well,
it's up to the authors.
You're right, and also this is a company. It's under Image too. That's the other thing. It's not like they're completely on their own. So they have infrastructure behind them already. It's some of the best writers in comics, and yeah. John and I both got some comics. We'll read them. We'll let you know what we think of them. Maybe next week we'll talk about them. So.
Yep.
All right. That's it. That's all we had to talk about. JD would have made the show more interesting, but he's not here. Screw you, JD.
So what's the consolation prize for watching the rest? Are we adding any more? We still have a lot more interviews to put up.
Yes, we do. So keep an eye out for those, boys and girls. They will be coming out shortly. If I had thought about it earlier, I might have been prepped one to tag at the end of this, but obviously it's too late for that. So definitely check out. Definitely on Friday will be Dirk will be going up Friday. It's a standalone video, but some of the others should
That's
be coming.
Dirk Manning who's doing the second. Was it the
second volume of Hope?
Second volume of Hope.
That's what we talked about. It launches on Halloween. The Kickstarter. We got to read the first couple of issues.
We should put that up.
Brutal.
And
that's
then
the word. Yes, V Friends will be coming this week as well.
Which is a card game, and we got to interview, I think, the owner of it. And
the CEO. And then we talked to the CEO of Super 7, who had a really cool Cobra flagship.
He basically is the toy box we all wished we had when we were kids.
Yes.
And he made everything.
Penta Comics will be coming. Kaylin Smith. Why do I feel like there was someone else?
It probably was. We got a lot of material. It was fun. New York Comic Con. Have you seen what the totals are yet?
That's the last I checked. The estimate was 200,000, but I think they beat that.
Oh yeah, I know. Wow. No, I thought I would say, like, the last time it felt like that, it was 280,000. And considering Thursday, I think they're up to 280 to 300,000 people over the weekend.
Probably. Let's see. 2023 attendance.
Yeah, it's going to be. Well, last year was 200,000, but that was because they were still coming off of COVID, which I might add. And again, I forget if I already said this, but there were people there that caught COVID that we know.
Yeah.
I took 2 tests. I didn't get COVID. So, like, and we interacted with lots of people that have then said they've come down with COVID. So, COVID is still a thing. So if you're out there, get the latest shot. I think they've got the latest the latest version out for the newest variants of COVID. Get it if you can, just to stop this thing finally.
I do not see. It's not going to stop. It's an endemic now. It's here forever.
Well, yeah, but that means you gotta get your COVID and flu shot at the same time.
Yeah, I do not see.
Yeah, they just say it beat 200. All right. Well, we've been to a whole bunch of these.
Yeah.
I'm saying 280 to 300,000 people, because Friday and Saturday there were places where we could not walk through. And if you look at some of the pictures that we're posting up, you can see that the main thoroughfares isn't just wall-to-wall people. Like it was hard to impossible to walk through some of those places.
Definitely. All right. Well, I think then we gotta put a pin in this one for this week. So John, did you learn anything this week, or do you have any recommendations?
Brush your teeth and use Listerine every day. Don't have the tooth problems that I've had. Also, you know what? And here's the thing. I had some nice new anime series titles for JD, because you know how he loves those.
Yes.
And oh my God! And and it logged me out. Why does it lock me out when I'm just waiting to try and say something? So I'm going to just fill the audio space here. Here we go. So, a playthrough of a certain dude's VR MMO life, which is kind of okay. I'm in love with the villainess, which on the surface looks like just another villainous anime, of which there are a few. But then it takes a turn, and there's this undercurrent of dealing with issues with people who have, with gay people that have, feelings for, people of the same sex. And there's just this undercurrent. So I'm waiting to see what it's going to do with that. Because the main character is in love with the villainess, and
Right.
she's got isekai'd. I don't know. It's really, I don't know. I think that one's going to good. But the best one of the bunch is Shangri-La Frontier.
Okay.
It's just fun, and it was written by a gamer who knows video games, and you can tell, because if you're a video gamer and you're watching that, it's you've been in the same situations. And then a returner's magic should be special. I think I'll save the rest for later as I go through them. Those are the ones that I'd recommend. And one other, the Saints Magical Powers Omnipotent, season 2's out, and I still find that to be basically candy for my brain. It's just a really nice love story set in an anime, fantasy world, and
Right.
just, I mean, it's really entertaining enough and nice enough that I can just sit there and, it's like a warm bath.
Ah.
So, anyway, those are my recommendations if you're into anime. And as far as what I learned, just take care of your teeth. Young ones.
Well, that's an important lesson for children of all ages.
So Dave, speaking of children of all ages, what did you learn?
I learned nothing.
Oh, that's a shame.
I don't have any funny quips this week. I learned that my eyes won't stop draining.
You're tired and you're sick, so
Yes,
that tends
exactly.
to happen.
But I do recommend that you go and check out Ghost Machine. They got some good books out, and I think they're going to be big. I think you should go and check out V Friends. It's a TCG that for all ages, and I think people will enjoy that.
Go to Spotify and check out Riddler: Secrets in the Dark.
Yes, and while you're doing all of that, first thing you got to do is, while you're here, hit that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live and when new videos go up. Also, go to superheroespeak.com where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media at the top of the page. Comic book reviews by our good friend D Square, and so much more. Check out our Facebook. John's posting all the photos he took. Check out our Instagram. I have a bunch of photos on there that I took. And yeah. So on that note, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape caught in the door. Have a good week.